Here are a few things to consider when you're raising a sanguine child. And how do you know you're raising a sanguine child? There are some things you can never miss. Number one, they are the happy, excited, and cheerful children in the house or anywhere they find themselves. A sanguine child is one that will go to school for the very first time and come back home and tell you, Mommy, I have 5 friends, because they are actually very friendly. A sanguine child is the one that will notice when you are not in your best mood. They will notice when you are in a new dress, and they are very quick to giving you compliments. They are energetic, fun to be with, very optimistic, very enthusiastic, and they are very talkative. You will not miss telling, in fact, you will almost tell a sanguine child countless number of times in a day, you talk too much, you talk too much. That's a sanguine child. They are fun to be with. They are the life of anywhere they go to. But then again, in parenting a sanguine child, there are some things you should consider in order to help them live their best life or live their life to the fullest. Number one is the fact that a sanguine child will never recognize his or her faults. They find it difficult recognizing their shortcomings or their mistakes. So as a parent, you take your time to point out such facts to a child so that they don't grow up living in denial. They don't grow up thinking all is well. A person should be able to sit back and reflect over his or her life. A person should be able to sit back and reflect the way things are going in his life. Pick out your faults, work on your weaknesses, enhance your strengths, and all of that. A sanguine child is more focused on their strengths, their happiness, because most times wherever they are, people tend to like them a lot. So they find it a little bit difficult focusing on their weaknesses. That's a problem that if you're parenting a sanguine child, you need to help them focus on and work on. Number two, it's very difficult for a sanguine child to pay attention to details. They are so energetic, so enthusiastic, they just want to move, because they find it difficult to even sit, for a very long time. They are always all over the place. Paying attention to details becomes a little bit of a challenge for a sanguine child. If you are parenting such a child, take it upon yourself. Engage them in logical, mindful exercises and games. Walk them through all of this from time to time so that they get better in paying attention to details. Number three is they most times, not all the time, but most times they really don't have true friends. And why is that? A sanguine just sees you, likes you, and is very quick to start a conversation, and before you know, they strike friendship with you. Most times they really don't check people's characters. They don't check for moral compatibility. They just jump on people, and you find out that majority of their friendships really do not have depth. That is one problem. Sit your children down. Teach them, there are rules to making friendship. Teach them so that they don't keep getting hurt by their friends. Teach them how friendship runs. Like I always tell my children, or most children around me, to a very large extent, I tell them, keep your friends in your head. Yes, I tell people, keep your friends in your head, so that whatever it is you're doing, once it comes to friendship, be a true friend, but keep your friends in your head. What do I mean by that? Always apply your common sense when you're picking your friends. Always apply your common sense. Don't be too relaxed. Don't give out too much information about yourself to your friends. Don't put your life in the hands of your friends. Don't put your secrets in the hands of your friends to the point that they can end up using it against you. Number 4 is the fact that they find it difficult to follow through. A sanguine can come up with 10 beautiful ideas about things he wants to work on, and these are wonderful ideas, but because to a very large extent, most times they are easily distracted. They get easily bored, so they start something, before they leave it, they start something else. They have the capacity to work on 10 projects at the same time, and they may end up not even completing any one. Teach them to set goals. Teach them how to follow through. Teach them the steps it takes in when setting your goals and accomplishing your goals. This is one skill. If you are parenting a sanguine child, you really need to take your time to teach your sanguine child all of this. Number 4, they live for the now. A sanguine is now. It has money, wants to buy beautiful clothes now because they always love to look so flashy, so shiny. A sanguine most times really don't they don't bother about issues that much. So to a very large extent, they don't bother themselves about the consequences of issues most times. They learn from experience. Let me put it that way. They always get their fingers beaten, so they always learn from experience, and they really don't have to. You understand? They really don't have to. They say there's a saying that experience is the best teacher, but sometimes I recently heard the complete saying that experience is the best teacher for the unwise. The wise really don't need it. You don't have to get your fingers burned before you get wise. Sit down. For the sanguine child, teach them the benefits of always weighing issues. Let them weigh the pros and cons. Let them weigh the future consequences of things. Life is not just about now. Let them know. Continue to emphasize that every decision you take today will definitely affect your tomorrow, directly and indirectly. And then they depend on others for affection. I have a son that is a huggy bear. Let me not shout. He's somewhere around. He always wants to hug you. He always wants you to tell him he's handsome. He always wants, they depend on people for attention. You understand? And I was just telling him, I said, don't put your happiness in the hands of people. Once people know, they will use it as a weapon against you. A sanguine child needs to be taught how to find happiness by himself. A sanguine child needs to know that his happiness is not in the hands of anybody. Yes, it's good for us to reassure our children. Everybody responds to love. Everybody wants to hear beautiful things. Everybody loves being hugged. Everybody loves being loved and all of that. But beyond that, as human beings, we should not put our happiness in the hands of anybody. And that's one thing parents need to emphasize when raising a sanguine child. And then they love to ignore responsibilities. A sanguine child will do anything to avoid anything tedious. That is not a very good place to be if you're going to be successful. A successful life comes with you paying attention and meeting up with your responsibilities. So if you're parenting a sanguine child, these are all of the things that you need to consider in your parenting style. These are the things that you will need to incorporate beyond the general training. A sanguine child is not a child that you give the general trainings that you give, general upbringing that you give to. You have to be specific in raising a sanguine child. Many a times there are so many excesses that you will need to take away from a sanguine child. I hope this has been very helpful. Thank you.